fellow gaming fans, and welcome once again to Rising World Medieval Build Series. This is Small Archangel. Thank you for joining me today in our medieval town, which is starting to take shape a little bit more. We haven't got that many more builds to go really, other than houses, and this is our final shop for the moment, which is an apothecary, and is deliberately a smaller build. As I said last time, suffering unfortunately from a little bit of RSI at the moment, so having to be a little bit more cautious with my mouse clicks, the number of mouse clicks anyway. But this one only needs to be a small shop. It's not a double one like the one over there, and we've got just the frontage in Wattle and Daub, as it were. And I've just realised that I haven't actually taken care of that, because there are some blocks that we're going to need to replace just here. I think this would look better if this was Wattle and Daub as well. Plaster, so we'll replace that with plaster to see what it looks like, but I think that is what I'm wanting to do there. There we are. Okay, so that does look better now. That is closer to what I intended it to be. So we've got our first story on here, and there's a few things I might sort of change about that frontage maybe, but for the moment that's pretty much it. We've got our shop window here, which is where yeah, our customers will stand and be served by the shopkeeper on the inside, and of course we'll make an apothecary to go in the apothecary or apothecarists. I'm not quite sure how you'd say it, to be perfectly honest. A blank back wall, because the inside of the shop is going to have a heck of a lot of sort of shelves at the back for bottles and jars of unguents and I don't know what else. So that's going to be fun for sticking posters all over as well. But now we need to make the upper story. Now we're going to have our usual understair storage cupboard there, and that's where we're going to put the crates for keeping the goods that we actually want to put in here, for a bit of RPing basically, because I do use this place to sort of play on, and I will also, you know, when the mounts finally come out as well, it'll be lovely to have some horses here, so I kind of want to build a stables or something like that. But we've got room for a horse, hopefully, at our farmer's yell as well. But for the moment, yeah, we're gonna have to retire for the night, I think, and come back tomorrow morning to try and complete the second story. Okay, here we go. So we've got stairs on the inside, so hopefully this means we won't need our scaffolding, but to be honest, we might need it. Do we have it in? Yes, I have it in my inventory anyway. I thought I did have, so that's good. Okay, so obviously we're going to have, this is now the extent of our our inside of the upstairs, because this is going to be the living quarters. It's a rather meaner residence. It's going to be smaller like this, so we're basically going to have just this little bit plastered here, and this is probably going to be the dining area, and then we're going to have a bed here and what have you, but it's only going to be a single story for the apothecary to live above their premises. So the window probably at this height, so let's just do this, and then our window as ever is going to be kind of in the middle, about that big. Yeah, we may as well have one that size, and then it's going to be sort of double, that's 2 blocks high, I think, and then we won't have one at the side. Glass at this point, very, very expensive, of course. So expensive, in fact, that I don't even have any in the game at all, because I haven't been anywhere where there's been deserts to get sand from to make glass. So so there you go. And then we've got some more of these blocks. We're obviously going to need quite a lot of these to build the rest of this place as well. We're going to need a layer all the way around like this, and I might have, I don't know, should we have windows at the sides here, or should we have a window at the back? I think here is where, if anything, we need to have our fireplace at the back up here. So I think that needs to be solid here. And then at the sides, that's where we're going to need our windows. And they should perhaps be the same as the ones below. Or perhaps not, because the ones below are rather offset. That one has to be where it is, because otherwise the stairs get in the way. But maybe we should put them in the same position, actually, because they're going to be pretty much halfway along the walls from up here, aren't they? So about this level, actually. Yeah, that's pretty much right there. And that's going to be more like halfway along than it is below. Is that right? Yes, it is. There we go. So now I'm going to have to set up my scaffolding, because without that, I'm not going to be able to really reach any higher in here to finish the walls off. Alright, there we go. So that's pretty much those walls at roughly the height they're going to be. We're going to need a gable end now, and that is going to be, yeah, we're going to go in this direction, because the shop is sort of goes further back than it is. It's basically narrower than it is long. So our gable end is going to be here, and we're going to need that in plaster on this end and in brick on the other, or rather stone on the other. So for that we are going to need, probably jump down there without any harm, for that we are going to need to get some more blocks, but we're going to need, do I have any stone on me? No, 7, whoop, so not ever so much. We're going to need some more blocks, so I shall get some more stone and make some more blocks. Okay, so we'll start at this end with our gable. Just make sure I can still get at this. Turn that round this way, which means I'm going to need some of these. Okay, and we'll do this the same way as we have done previously. And at the moment it's going to look kind of very bare and white, because of course it needs the timbering to really finish it off. There, and then, oh my goodness, let's try not to fall down there. There we go. Alright, and then just put in the slope blocks. And I had a bit of a guess really at how many of those we were going to need. And if you want it to be completely pointed at the top, of course, what you really need to do is make sure that you have, make sure that you have a completely flat. In fact, I've just done the wrong thing there, haven't I? Because we actually need to put our roofing in where those slope blocks are, so we need to take those out again. That was silly of me, but we might need those for the inside possibly. I don't think so. Generally speaking, we don't bother plastering between. It wasn't until kind of Tudor times really that people plastered inside the beams so much. See that in Jacobean and Tudor houses, but not so much in medieval ones. And then of course we need to do the same thing with gable on this side. Yep, starting there. And I find these blocks a little bit more difficult to see exactly where they're at, because the sort of almost camo effect of the stone makes it more difficult to see their edges. That's pretty much where we want it anyway. There, and one more. There we go. Fantastic. So what we actually want with this one, even though it's a sort of a smaller building generally than the ones across the way, we're going to nonetheless have some stone tiles on the roof here. Now I don't know if I've got enough of them. We've got, oh, I don't need the corner ones because this is just a gable end building. So, and I think these are going to look effective with the dark tiles against there. We actually might, in fact we definitely will want to change this top block here. I don't have one with me, but I will change it for a block of these tiles as well. I think we've got some somewhere, and we'll have to do the same on the other side. So I shall have to take those out. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. Turn it all the way around. There we go. So we'll take out these top ones. We'll replace that with some flat blocks, because the very top of our roof is obviously going to be flat. This is how I always have to have injuries. I always sustain injuries while putting roofs on. There we go. So I will go and see. I think we've got a couple of blocks of that tile. We're probably going to need some more as well, which I'll have to make. There, we've got one. Well, woo. We're going to need 2 of those, aren't we? So let's just go make some more right now. I think they're in among our favourites, those tiles. They are not, but they should be. Okay, there we go. And then we'll have a row of those across the top as well, of course. But for the moment, we need to start. Hopefully, I won't actually fall down while I'm doing this, but I very often do. Oops, no, not that way, this way. There we go. And then I'll have to move across a little bit. This is the trouble. You can't place them where you are yourself, so then you have to ease over a little bit, and then I fall off the roof. There we go. And again, I'm not sure if I've actually got enough of these. I did make quite a few, but did I make enough? I'm not probably. No, I've only got 4 left, so that suggests not. There we go. So that's that side and the top done. And then I'll need to make some more to... Oh no, I have a few. There we go. We probably don't have enough, mind you, so I will have to go and make some more. Yeah, and I'm in the way of that one. Okay, so there we go. Our roof is done inside and out. The inside here I have actually lined out with wood because I thought it would probably look a little bit better that way. Because, yeah, even if the roof is tile on the outside, it doesn't normally look like tile on the inside. It is normally lined with wood. So that's what I've done here. The central strip there that we can still see because it's a flat block above, we will rectify that by placing a beam there, I think. And then, yeah, you won't be able to see the tile. As you can see, the eaves go up quite high, but again, we're going to have some beams in here, which will, yeah, make that look a little bit less like a blank space. So I guess that's what we have to do. Now we've got our timbering here. I've got 27 of these. I'm going to probably need more than that. But for the time being, let's just see what we really need to do here. So we need timbers pretty much just everywhere. So we're going to start, as we usually do, with the corners here. We probably want them to be the same width as this. Yes, we do. There we go. And is that right? Maybe I should make them a little narrower, actually, and then they'll be the right kind of width for this. Now, it's a little difficult to see if that's correct from here, but I believe it probably is. There we go. You see, that kind of fits, doesn't it? And then we'll do the same there, of course. And then we're going to need to do similar there and on the other side as well to finish that off. You see our villagers wandering around? I think we'll have a few more of those, to be honest. I think they look pretty good. Wandering around the place. Give it a little bit of life. There we are. And we're probably going to want a thicker beam kind of going all the way up there. Is that about right? Very hard to say at this point. No, I think that's not quite, is it? Okay, I think I'm going to need my crowbar for this job, aren't I? Don't get in my way, dearie. There we go. I think that needs to go straight across there like that, doesn't it? And then we're going to need one across the top as well. And then we're probably going to need some other timbers in between. Largely, I think at the front here, we're going to want vertical ones. I'm going to want them to be that width, or yeah, I think they probably do want to be. And I'll just put in 2 vertical ones either side of our window. That frames it nicely. And then is the space for other vertical ones in between pretty much perfectly. There we go. This is all starting to look a little bit too regular, if anything. And I might just shorten this a tad and see if I can get that to go up to the sill. And then we're going to need one on the horizontal as well. Okay, so I've done most of the timbering, I think. We've got the gable end with the plaster there, and we have got a little bit of wood around the windows, but otherwise not a lot on this end. But I have put some timbering on the gable end at this end also. which I think looks about right. I don't think we need anything else wood support wise there, because this is basically a stone building. But then I think we do need a little bit of something here. It doesn't look quite complete somehow. So what I think I might do, let's just get the grid back on again. We have a dividing timber there, and I think perhaps we need to do the same thing here, like so. And then I think I'd like a diagonal one. Perhaps not in that direction. I think maybe it needs to go in the opposite direction, like so. Is that going to work? Or maybe we should have it just at the top end. I don't know. Does it need to be a little bit longer, like so? Yeah, I think like that. And the same thickness. Yes, like that. And then maybe we have one in the opposite direction, like so. That looks quite good. I might rethink that, but we certainly want something going on there. Okay, there we go. It doesn't look quite right somehow, that, but it's sort of the kind of thing I want. I might just have verticals on one of those side panels, possibly, instead of the diagonal, but we certainly want one diagonal there, I think. So that is the timbering more or less completed on this build. So that means on the inside, well, on the outside at least, on the inside, we're going to need more of the stuff, of course. We always do. Starting possibly with, yeah, actually we could do something like that, couldn't we? But let's just see. I hit G, and then make that longer. What does that look like? Well, that looks pretty good, actually. Let's just try that out. And then, of course, we're going to need a very much shorter one on this side. And this could be quite an effective way of finishing off our stairs. But then, of course, we do need an upright as well. Yep, just coming out the bottom of there. And this is where it's kind of difficult to tell where that, how long that actually is. Does that go? It goes up there. It doesn't go through the floor, is all I'm concerned with. No, it doesn't. It's pretty much ideal, so that's great. There we go. So that's our stairs done. We're going to need a door in there, of course, but then we need some more timbers in here just to sort of finish off our shop. So I'm going to shorten this one until I know it's the right length. So we don't want it clipping through the floor above. There, and then we're probably going to want a horizontal one as well, but perhaps a little bit narrower than that. Let's just make it a little bit shorter. There we go, just like that, on the bottom and on the top. There we are. And we're perhaps going to want to do the same here. In fact, maybe we should just do that. Maybe we should just do that. There we go. And the same here, only quite a bit shorter, of course. Okay, there we go. So obviously we're going to need some beams up here for the ceiling as well, on the inside, and I'm going to need to put a fireplace in there, and we have our living quarters here, but I'm not going to worry about that too much at the moment, because the main thing that we need to do now is think more about the interior of the shop down here. So we're going to have, so this is going to be basically our counter area here. The stairs kind of get in the way a little bit, so we're not going to be able really to put much in the way of an actual counter there. Let's just see if we've got a wooden board plank somewhere, because what we've done here is those, but they've got more space between the windows and the stairs. In here, do I have? No, they will be in my carpenter's shop, obviously. Okay, here we go. So there we are. We've got quite a few of them here. So let's just take those. I'm going to put that timber back away for the moment. And those. Got plenty of beams next time I need them. And we'll just see what we can do for a counter here. And what we might have to do is switch this about a little bit and turn it around. And actually have our counter coming outside a little bit, rather than going inside. It's pretty much the right length, isn't it? Let's just, oops, that's not what I meant. Like so. There we go. In fact, we could perhaps even make it a little bit wider than that, because I have a feeling that such shops would probably have had, it would almost be like a shutter that would come down on chains. I have seen such a thing. Although that is rather then sticking out a long way, isn't it? Which would mean that you wouldn't actually be able to get past it from the door. But I don't know that that was particularly going to be a problem. Let's just try making it nonetheless a teeny bit shorter like that. We can add on to the end of it, can't we, if we want to, just to make it a little bit. Oops, apparently that's not really going to work. Oh well, we'll just leave it at that then. That'll do for the moment. I might tinker with that, but yes, I have a feeling that you know, we'd probably be talking about a vertically opening and closing shutter that would double out up then, so we'd have some chains going from there, which we can't really do with the game, unfortunately, which would then enable this to fold up and cover the window when the shop was closed. So that's probably the kind of counter we've got there, and I might just make it protrude rather further than that, with the understanding that you would basically come to the door here, and this bit here would be blocked up, so we might actually just put some stone blocks going and continue those across there and across there, because that's the doorway that leads into the shop, and probably the apothecary would be the only person to go in there. I'm not entirely sure if customers would go in at all. They'd probably just stand at the window. So there we go. And then we're going to need our shelving at the back here, and what I should have picked up when I was at the carpenter's, oh gosh, I'm starving to death and dehydrated here, as per usual, of course. Let's just get ourselves sorted out. What I should have picked up while I was in here was some of these as well. Oh, I missed. There we go. That's what I wanted to make our shelving with. So we're going to rig up some shelving kind of similar to the shelving that we had in some of the other shops. We're going to place some pillars in. Let's see, what thickness do we want these to be? Let's make them fairly decent thickness. Oh, we don't need them that tall. And let's hit G to make sure that they adhere to the grid for the time being as well. These probably want to fill pretty much the entire space at the back of the shop here. So let's take it from, we want to be able to get into the cupboard there, so we don't want them to be absolutely all consuming. There we go. And I might just place, you see, that is going to get in the way, so let's just rethink that a tad. There we go. So we've got the sides of the unit as well, so this is going to look like an actual shelving unit, and then we just need to turn it around like this, and it's a little bit long at the moment. There we go, that's got those sorted out. And then what I was considering possibly is trying to make the top of these shelves look a little bit more whoops, that's not what I meant. I don't know, like one unit as well. And I was thinking of doing something along those lines. Or maybe, oh, no wonder it's gone dark out there. Maybe what we should do is try making some arched blocks to see if we can make an arched top to there, because that would look pretty good actually. So let's see if we can do that. Now I'll go to my carpenters for this, because that's where my wood is if I don't actually have any on me. Now there's the wood block that we want. So let's just see if we can get a couple of arches like that. We can only make 6 minimum, so we'll do that and we'll try this out, because this might be worth doing again somewhere else if it works out the way I hope. And it's not going to really, because it's not going to, that one sort of, but this one is not in line. So what I'm going to have to do I think, is rebuild the shelves so that, yeah, rebuild the shelves so that they're in line with that. So we might have to put our shelving unit kind of there rather than where it was before. So that's a bit of a pain, but I'm sure that it can be done. I'll give it a go. There we go, and I've even finished off the top little bit there as well, and that's turned out pretty well actually. I'm quite pleased with that. That looks like some apothecary shelves to me. It's a shame they can't go over this way any further, but of course if they did that, they would get in the way of our cupboard here. And while we're at it, we may as well, oh look at that, I've forgotten to fill that bit in there, so I need to do that, and then we could put some shelves in there and put some doors on. We obviously need a door on our shop, and we're going to need a door in there as well, and obviously I've got the place to furnish too. But one of the things that we're going to want to do, of course, is place lots of sort of bottles and things on this shelf. So let me just go see if I've got any posters. I don't have any. Oops, I'm throwing stuff around, which isn't what I meant to do at all. There we go. Let's go see if we've got any posters, because this is where I make my posters now. Here in, put them in the back. Yeah, there we go. You see, we've got a couple of them in there. So I'm just going to put those back in there for the minute. Inventory gets quite full. And we'll stick a couple of posters in there. Do you know what? I actually need these for placing my posters, don't I? So I'll take those again. And we'll just see if we can put something on our shelves to start us off, really. Turn this around like that. And of course we want to make it, oh dear me, we need to make it quite a bit smaller. Just turn it this way around. There we go. And we want to make it a little bit shorter, don't we? Let's hit G just to get it in the right kind of position. No, that's okay. As long as it's in contact with the shelf, that's fine. And we can stretch it out so it's pretty much the full length of the shelf, and then we can put our items, our false trompe-l'oeil items, anywhere we like on there. Okay, so now to choose our images. So we can have a jar. We'll have a jar, and I think we'll have to make it a little smaller, like so, won't we? I quite like the sort of the taller versions, so we'll have one of those. And we're going to need lots of, I could put more than one jar there actually, couldn't I? But I've only got two posters for the moment, so let's see what else we could do. And this one is pretty much perfect for an apothecary. Oops, perhaps not quite that tall, and a little bit wider. Let's just place those right there. There we go. So, and then of course what we can do once we've finished populating our shelves is take that back part of the shelf off, and we are left with the images simply suspended there by themselves, which looks pretty cool and just makes them look a little bit more 3D as well. And once I've filled this thing up, we'll perhaps have a couple of tomes there. We'll have some jars. We should have some herbs hanging around the place as well, because yeah, an apothecary is probably going to, they're probably going to be a herbologist as well, aren't they, really, realistically. So I've got a little bit of off-camera work to do as per usual here. I've got to sort out the beams inside. I've got to make a humble kind of dwelling up here. Oh, I've got my windows to finish off as well. And then I'm going to place some more images here and sort the doors out. So the next time, in the next episode, I will give you guys a tour of the finished apothecary, and hopefully it will be looking a little bit more cluttered than this, because it most certainly should be. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, you know what to do. Hit that like button and let me know. Also, keep your hints and tips, comments and suggestions coming. And yeah, help me repopulate this town with named people. I shall just give names to whatever, but for the moment, if anybody wants to name a character or have a character named after them, just let me know, and I will do so. So I hope you guys will join me for the next episode, when we will start on our next project, which may be our final large build in this series. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, and toes as well, that we will get mounts coming out before we finish the series, because we really could do with some horses around here. That would be really good, wouldn't it? That would really complete the place. And in the meantime, I might put a couple more villagers wandering around as well, because they don't seem to wander too far. That said, I haven't seen a male villager for a while. I'm not quite sure where he's got to. Maybe he's chatting to the tanner. I've no idea. So guys, I hope you'll join me for the next episode of Rising World Medieval. Until then, keep gaming, stay happy, and bye bye for now.